Hi, I'm Susanne Guthrie with Keller Williams, and I'm here with John Noldan, Vice President of Lending at Guaranteed Rate. And I just thought I'd take the opportunity to introduce you to John and ask him a few questions. But maybe first it'd be nice to get a feel for how John and I started working together. So I believe it was back in 2012, and ironically it was the buyer's lender wasn't able to get the loan approved because of a flood zone issue.
Mm-hmm. And for recalling that, it was in a flood zone, but what that lender didn't know was that you could ask for an elevation cert. And what that means is you could do more background work to see if that's truly a flood zone. Because when you pull up those flood certs, a lot of times it's just a little portion of the property that's in a flood zone. And in that case, it's all it was. So what I did, we were able to do some background with that company that pulled the flood to see if it was actually truly the whole property is a flood zone. Because most of the time it's just a partial part that it is in. So we did some more investigation, found out that it wasn't. Their due diligence to do our background check on it, and found that it was not in the flood zone. Got taken care of, was able to get the loan closed.
Yeah, just in a few days. So I think really from that point forward, then I started, saying to my buyers, call John, his team, they're fabulous, they get the job done. So, great. Yeah. So let's maybe start with a few questions.
Okay.
And you can really help me and educate the buyers.
Try.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people ask really what, as far as the credit score, if they get their credit multiple times, is that going to negatively affect?
It's an awesome question, and I get that 5 times a day easily. And back in the day, it did. Now the credit bureaus and banks are on the same page when it comes to having credit pulled. Obviously, when you're shopping for a mortgage, you have to have your credit pulled so we could do our pre-approval. Okay. Back in the day, hard inquiry when it was pulled multiple times would hurt your score. Now the credit bureaus are in the same line with the banks in the sense that you have 2 weeks to have your credit pulled multiple times with that same institution being a mortgage company. When your scores get hurt, when you hear people say multiple inquiries, it's when you have a bank pulling your credit, a mortgage company, you have a car company maybe pulling your credit, a credit card company pulling your credit, maybe you went to store for pulling your credit. Then it looks like you're in a mad dash for cash. At that point, that's going to negatively impact your score. So that's gone. That's no longer that way. You're allowed to have it pulled multiple times by the same institution because the bureaus recognize you're shopping for a loan. Another thing that's good with that is it used to stay a hard inquiry for a long time. Now it's in the same line with after 90 days that a hard inquiry falls off. That's when the pre-approval expires too. So at 90 days when your pre-approval expires, we're able to re-pull your credit to reset your pre-approval, get it refreshed without it being another inquiry on your score, so it doesn't negatively impact your credit.
Okay, that's great. I think that's helpful for so many people.
For sure.
I know that's so important to me as a realtor is making sure that buyers have their pre-approval. So why do you feel it's important they have their pre-approval?
When you're sitting with the client, and you know this because me and you do this together, but with other agents, it's good to be pre-approved. The reason being, you want to get your client out there, but all of a sudden you're showing them houses, they haven't been pre-approved, they finally give the lender a call or a lender a call, they're under contract, you waste all this time looking at houses, setting up their search, driving around, then they get their credit pulled and they have a 490 credit score with a bankruptcy last year that they didn't tell you about. You can't do anything with them. So 2 reasons important. Number 1, that one. Number 2, we want to make sure that client is in the best product for them. So when I'm talking to the client, we're taking a look at all options that are available for them, making sure we're finding the best program for them, making sure that they're in a spot where they want to be in a comfort zone. I always ask them, what your pre-approved, I always tell them what your pre-approved for and what you're comfortable spending are 2 totally different things. So we want to make sure that you're in a comfortable spot. And I lay out all the different options for them, give my own professional opinion on that, and kind of let them decide on what their most comfortable position will be and just move forward from there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I don't want somebody to fall in love with the house and then.
Exactly. And that's why it's important. And it's always important you'll get a lot of these people that are coming from different banks. Maybe they went to their bank, they got a pre-approval from it. It's always good to get a good set of eyes on it that you have a team with to make sure that you're looking at that properly, that you're really looking at your borrower's best interest other than them just walking into their bank and saying they want to get a loan and you're getting a guy that maybe doesn't know what he's doing. Because as you know as well as I do, we talked about in the beginning, a lot of stuff falls apart. Yep. And we don't want stuff to fall apart. When you come with us, I'm making sure it's not falling apart.
And I've never had anything fall apart with you, so that's great.
Right.
Well, that's a good kind of segue to the next question. Why should someone come to John Noldan if they're already pre-approved through another institution?
I have been doing this for 14 years, so I have seen everything that's out there when it comes to the different types of problems that may arise, which there's no perfect scenario. Things always pop up, but as long as you're able to maneuver in them properly, your client doesn't even know. It's a very smooth transition. Make it very smooth for them. That's what we want to do. Keep a good experience for them, making sure that we're doing it right for them. Sometimes banks aren't doing their due diligence, like the first deal that we did together. They didn't go above and beyond to figure out we need to get that loan done. I also have my own underwriting, which is in my office, my own team, which is in my office, my own closer. So I'm able to get a deal from application to closing within 11 days if I need to. Obviously, that's a lot of work done quickly, but we have the capability of doing so. Also, I'm able to take a look at all the different programs and different investors that are out there to make sure we're putting them in the best one, which we had talked about in the previous question, to make sure that we're getting them that best spot, the best rate, and making sure that we're covering most of the costs that we can for them. Okay, so obviously working with a business partner like yourself or other business owners that I work with, we make sure that we're giving them we're giving them a huge rate better than the closing costs too, which is great for them. Because it's you're buying a property, it costs a lot of money to do so. We make sure we're keeping that as low as we can on my side, and keeping the rate as aggressive as possible, which I'm able to do due to the volume.
Well, that's great. And John's helped so many of my buyers and personally helped me with my own purchase. So I can attest to the fact that he has a very high level of customer service. He has a fabulous team. The industry knowledge and all of your experience is definitely a reason that I like to refer you to my clients. So,
awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course,
and
that's great.
Please call John for any other questions. He's got a fabulous team, and they all work very hard to get the best rates, like he mentioned, and it's just a wonderful process. And of course, call for your pre-approval.
Thanks, Susanne.
Thank you.
Pleasure.